Hello, I'm APX Toycat, and with the addition of the disc fragment, there are now 3 unique drops which are only found in the Deep Dark City and are meant to be a reward for coming all the way down here. Obviously, there is the Swift Sneak enchantment. This is the first one that we saw. It allows you to sneak around very swiftly, you could say. It's very cool, it's very interesting, and it's found just here, alongside the recovery compass, which you craft yourself, and which will point you to your last location of death, if you have one. Not so useful on hardcore, but very useful otherwise. And then finally, we have the ability to craft a brand new music disc. That's right, 9 disc fragments makes a brand new disc only found right here. And this is fascinating because when you listen to the track, it starts to reveal all sorts of weird and interesting things. Like maybe, just maybe, this is what the portal is meant to sound like. Doesn't that sound like a portal being lit, and then someone marching, and then all of a sudden, a whole lot of someone's marching together? It sounds almost like an army is attacking as a result of whatever, portal was lit. It is such an interesting noise in and of itself, and obviously, as being the third thing for the Ancient City, it raises the question of, are these 3 things enough by themselves, or is the Ancient City actually destined to a bigger purpose that ties into a portal-looking structure that you can find in any one of these? That is the question I want to ask today. Is the Ancient City enough right now? And also, what are they hinting towards with this? Because they have directly confirmed, yeah, there are some lore implications. We've seen even King B Dogs himself directly say, yeah, what do you think your questions are on that? So they are raising a mystery in our heads, and today I wanted to give you my closest answers that I can give as to exactly what is happening there. First of all, though, yes, this structure right here, it is called the portal, the Ancient City portal, and it looks very much like a portal. It's made of unmovable blocks. They made them movable, but they confirmed that was a mistake. There is no way to get these blocks otherwise besides to make a perfect rectangle to make something called a portal. However, they have given us no direct indication as to what behavior will come from it. Sure, it shares a rectangle shape with the Nether portal and End portal, but they haven't given us anything that directly says exactly what is going on with these things. In fact, when you get closer to it, all that is clear is that it is a very different block depending on which face you're looking at it from. The outside of this is exactly the same in each face. The side of it is the same in each face, but the bottom and top are kind of different, kind of like logs. But what does that have to do with being anything like a portal? Who knows for sure what is happening with reinforced deep slate and indeed with this portal? All we know is that this is the big reason to come to the Deep Dark City, because here's the deal, right? This is a whole dimension, this is a whole structure, the biggest structure in terms of X and Z space, like horizontal coverage that Minecraft has ever added to the game. And do you think they did that solely to add 3 things? The answer could be yes. They think that the enchantment for the leggings, Swift Sneak, is amazing. It's going to be really great for some reason in the future, or that it's just really fun by itself. Plus, the recovery compass is going to be really good for dying reasons, you could argue. And then the music disc is just cherry on the cake, the little bit of lore. And honestly, you can see their argument for being right here. If you compare the Ancient City to every other structure that has come before it, the reasons to come here that are unique are so much higher. Most Minecraft structures don't have any unique loot, and the few that do have a unique mob or a unique loot there, it usually has just a single thing. Think Pig Step in the Piglin Bastions, think about Nether Fortresses and having blazes spawn right there. As far as the Ancient City having 3 unique things, a brand new type of compass, and these leggings, and the fact that obviously there's the Skulk thing happening here, that is actually a compelling argument to say that actually, yeah, this is just meant to be a biome. This is Minecraft's most interesting biome. We've said for a while that some biomes feel kind of dead. This is their answer to that. This is an exciting underground biome that makes you want to cave and find it. Even in its current form, it will still be more interesting than every other underground biome, and so that could be the means to itself. However, I don't fully buy this, because we've added the most exciting mob that Minecraft has seen, perhaps in its history we could say, in the form of the Warden, but despite adding this incredibly interesting and scary mob to the game, there is no reward for killing it. It's been stated over and over again, all the Warden does is guard the area. It's meant to be there as part of this like stealth adventure style thing where you're trying to avoid him rather than fight him, and that good players will just know how to avoid the Warden rather than how to beat him. Even more evidence to support the theory is that, yeah, if you look around this biome, you'll see that it's not just the free unique rewards for coming down here and avoiding the Warden, there's also a whole block palette of things you can find specifically around here. These skulk veins look really interesting. It's like a vine, but you can't climb on it. Very interesting stuff. There's the skulk block itself, which contains experience and which can be generated by using the skulk catalyst and having mobs die. Technical players will love the skulk catalyst, and that's before we even mention the skulk sensor. Honestly, when the Deep Dark was believed to just be a Warden and the skulk sensor, it already sounded like an interesting enough place, did it not? I mean, wireless redstone activating in Minecraft, look how cool this looks. This is many people's dreams, a whole separate technical community's dreams in fact, and so having two entirely different and entirely valuable separate reasons to come here, in addition to obviously the loot, honestly could be enough by itself as far as Mojang is concerned, and that's why I think we're not going to be finding the answer in 1.19. However, I do think that they have big plans for either after this update or that are going to be starting to be revealed at the end of this update, and let me explain why that is. There are so many things pointing towards Minecraft getting some form of new dimension or some form of new portal, and first of all, the music disc. I think we have to come back and we have to play this again. So this music disc is called 5, which obviously ties it in to 11 and 13, the other weird music discs made of strange sounds which add to Minecraft's lore, and like I mentioned before, at the very start of the song, air quotes, there is a portal being lit up, followed by a lot of marching. After a big roar, the song comes back into relative normality, I would say. This is my favorite section of the song. There is 20 seconds where it's just a nice normal music disc. Honestly, one of the better music discs. I really love this track that plays for a solid minute, and then we're back to Weirdness. We hear all sorts of different noises from Minecraft at this point, from lava to stepping on some amethyst blocks to coughing even, but the weirdest thing happens about 90 seconds into this song, because listen to this. Does it not sound like a portal, but kind of mixed with that earlier sound, that earlier song? To me, it kind of does. This seems like a music disc that has come from another dimension, but has been, like, I don't know, taped over by the horrors of getting it in and out of that dimension. But to give you my best speculation, I look at it and I say, wow, doesn't that seem as though there's all sorts of different things that can come from this portal-y sound? The first time it sounded like a portal followed by enemies. The second time it sounded like a portal followed by something much more sinister, but also something more normal before that. And so, to me, if you're going to take anything from this, it's the fact that there could be lots of different things that you could get depending on what is thrown in there, and give it, and you know, the biggest things to support there being a new dimension, because if we throw away the fact that, you know, it would make the Deep Dark better, of course, a new dimension would make any update better, so let's throw away the fact that it obviously ties into this update, let's throw away the music disc, and let's just look at why Minecraft is likely to add a new dimension in the very soon future, and why this is our best lead so far. Reason number one is the fact that we had a whole April Fool's update focused on dimensions. The depth of that update and the fun that people had by throwing different things into the portal to get different dimensions, because they added literally infinite number of dimensions, which all procedurally generated, many of which were interesting. This shows us they have the tech to make very interesting things, a dimension that isn't the same for everyone, but is actually hugely different should they want to. It was a very interesting experiment that showed the tech is entirely doable to not just add one dimension, but to add millions if they so choose. But then the second thing that really to me stands out is the fact that we had King B Dogs, who is the developer behind the Aether mod, perhaps Minecraft's most famous dimension mod, but also lesser known is the fact that Corey, Kojo Max, actually worked on the Troublecraft mod, which was another multi-dimension mod for Minecraft. When you combine both of these developers being hired to Minecraft in the last few years, when you combine that with the previous update, when you combine that with the fact that we've seen Jeb specifically specifically say that he didn't want to add a new dimension till he worked on the existing ones, and then what did we see? 1.16 was the Never update. What did we see? Minor changes to the end, but changes to the end nonetheless regarding shulkers and the infinite renewability of, them as being one of the primary great reasons to go there. Honestly, I look at this and I say that this is such a smoking gun on just they want to add a new dimension. It is somewhere on their to-do list, and it's been presumably quite high, because how do you blow people away with a Minecraft update? The Aquatic update, Village and Pillage, the Never update, and the Caves and Cliffs all blew people away in different ways by massively updating an existing part of the game, but it's been a while since they've just added something fully brand new from scratch. I would say the Deep Dark is a fun example of that. Yeah, this is just a fully brand new biome, but it's not really from scratch. It fits into the cave archetypes that exist, and same with the Mangrove Swamp, and even to a lesser extent, you could say, other updates in there. What could you do to update the game massively? I would say you add an ancient city that is actually a portal to something brand new, a brand new dimension that is found and is super worrying and is perhaps the latest game of all of them. People like the end, but it was effectively a glorified boss fight when it was added, and it later got expanded by the other things. People like the Nether, but it was effectively just a place where gas could blow you up and you could find glowstone for a while. So maybe when they add this dimension, instead of adding it lazily in this update, they're adding the lore to it right now. They're adding all of the groundwork to actually add a dimension that has some layer of depth when it's first added, rather than just being a place where you go for one block. And in that way, I would say they're doing a good job. However, as much as I'm inspired by this idea, and I really love the idea of there being a brand new dimension that is on their docket for 1.20, I think that it is worth mentioning that despite all of this lore pointing towards this being a portal, despite the game files pointing towards it, and everything else about this looking like a portal pointing towards it being that way, Minecraft lore doesn't always go somewhere. Sometimes Minecraft lore is there because it is there and it works better unexplained. We've still never seen an official explanation for why there's a wither drawn into chiseled red sandstone. We still don't know why there is a dragon egg. It doesn't lead anywhere. The question itself is more interesting than any answer they could give to some lore things, and so maybe that's what they want us to do here. There is the hint at a new dimension, there is the hint at some foregone civilization that maybe could go there, but we don't know how to get there yet, and we won't know for a while. It could be they're planning to make a new dimension in 1.20. It could be they have some vague plan that maybe 10 updates from now they'll add the fourth dimension to Minecraft. Who knows for sure what it actually is? All I know is that the ancient city genuinely would be, if we ignore the portal and we ignore the expectations we have from it, genuinely could be one of the most exciting structures and biomes by itself if it were added as just part of another update. Imagine if this was in Caves and Cliffs, we would have no questions about seeing wow, really? A whole brand new item mechanic, a whole brand new disc which is found in an entirely different way, and a new enchantment? Also, the chests, it's not like they're bad in other ways, right? They have potions. I think we would say that if this was any other update. However, because the wild update has turned out to be, there's a few changes to the swamp on the surface, and you can put boats and chests, but given that this mostly is the Deep Dark update, I think that's the reason why people have higher expectations perhaps, and I think that is why when there's no new dimension in this update, people will be disappointed, but I don't think that should be the realistic expectation. I think the more realistic, and if we're being honest, expectation would be to actually say that this is the groundwork for some future dimension. This is laying the lore, making it fit into the world before they add it, because if you don't know, if you only played Java, then the way it worked is one day there were strongholds and they had end portals in. If you played Minecraft console, however, what they did is they added strongholds a few updates before they added the end portals that you could light. This meant that everyone knew there was going to be this place in their world where suddenly a portal to a new dimension would open, and it felt much more natural to me to have the stronghold be an existing thing, which was updated to add that new dimension in, and I feel as though that's what their goal is to do with the ancient city. They are giving us the existing structure that later, by using fire or magic or whatever it turns out to be in combination with something fun, we are going to be able to do something with this portal eventually. Right now they're just laying the groundwork, and they're also making it the centerpiece of a very interesting structure, in my opinion at least. Or maybe I'm wrong, and honestly, the people at Mojang were bored and they're like, it'd be funny if it looked like a portal. Or maybe even a layer below that. You can always reduce things another layer and say maybe they didn't even know it looked like a portal and they just, someone named it after the fact. They're like, I guess it looks like a portal, so we'll call it the portal in the game files, but they have no intentions or plans to do that. I, however, think that Mojang, obviously, being a literally the most successful game on the planet, Minecraft is, I think they have some plans. And when are we going to learn about those plans is the question we sadly don't have the answer to, but I imagine they are very exciting plans that you want to know the answers to. I know I do. Let me know what your ideas and thoughts and things are in the comments down below, because I have enjoyed this video. These are my theories. I love the updates right now. You know, like, the content is great, but the theories and the lore and everything else around that is just as interesting, and I'm here for it, man. I'm really enjoying it personally. Let me know if you agree or if you hate it, because I'll see you in the next one, unless you hate it. As in, ate a video? You're not sure. Yeah, goodbye.